to anyone that would like to answer. There's been a lot of criticism around investment conferences and the pledges that have been made, because if you look at the statistics, it doesn't necessarily translate into actual investments and seeing these jobs being created. What do you have to say about that? And then just one other question. In your capacity as, I don't know if you still are, the chair of the clearinghouse for the GNU, but some serious allegations have been made against one of the ministers in cabinet, Gauteng Mackenzie. What is the GNU doing about this in your capacity as the head of the clearinghouse?
Well, let me start with your last question. As you know, the clearinghouse deal with issues that are referred by the leaders of the GNU. So that matter has not been referred to us as something we need to look at. So we will wait. Should they refer to us, we will then attend to it. The second question, which I think Premier and the MECs will deal with, is this perception that we make announcements about commitments and nothing happens. In fact, throughout this conference, you will hear, and the MEC and the Premier also alluded to this earlier, that out of the commitments that were made before, a lot of resources have already moved into the economy, and they will deal with the figures. It is happening. So it's not just merely commitments on paper. It is commitments that are followed by execution to ensure that there is proper implementation. And this has been the second conference. It will obviously review where are we with respect to the previous commitment that the MEC spoke about and the commitments that will be made now. But definitely, as you heard me earlier saying, one of the issues that we must focus on, one of the tasks, is to ensure tracking of these projects, to say there were investments in energy, in logistics, and in digital infrastructure. How far are we? How much has come into the economy? So this is not merely paper commitment. It's a real money that is coming into the economy. But I'll leave it to the Premier and the MECs to deal with the details because they have them.
Premier, just a moment, my Premier will respond to the issue.
Thank you so much, TP. I think you are correct. Maybe we need to provide a lesson that we don't just invite people to make pledges. They go through a process. We check whether they have the resources, the capability, the skill, and the timeline. By the time it comes here, it has already gone through various verification stages that the team takes. And that is why the pledges are not pledges for the sake of pledges. They have been concretized, they have been evaluated, and we are quite convinced that they can be delivered. I want to give you one example. When Cherry made an announcement that they will invest in South Africa, no one thought that there will be so many cars that come from Cherry. But yeah, they're in the province, moving. When BMW said they will expand to have the X3 available here, it's here. They've done that. So I went to open Henneken plant in the Vaal. It was part of this. So to date, you'll see 81 billion rands from last year's 312 billion in commitment. 81 billion rands, as MEC has indicated, is already in the implementation stage. That demonstrates the capabilities that we have as a state to ensure that we translate from pledges to actual programs. Remember, critics will always criticize because they have nothing to offer. We are at the belly of ensuring that we create opportunities. And you will see the new investment that will come here, almost 201 billion rands. So if you check 312 and 201, almost over 500 billion investment. That would ensure that Gauteng is indeed providing the necessary job opportunities for our people. Unfortunately, we're already here when the group CEO of Transnet was unpacking the huge infrastructure investment that they want to bring to Gauteng to ensure that jet fuel is available, to ensure that gas is available, to ensure that fuel is available in Gauteng. Because if you don't have those three components, you can't move Gauteng. The mere fact that we're investing and Transnet is upgrading their investment opportunities, is attracting this investment. To us, we're quite excited. Next time when you see an aeroplane taking off in Gauteng, it's because of this investment process. So some of these things, they are there already. It's just unfortunate people are easy to criticize. Thanks.
Thank you. Myself, I'm going from.
Thank you very much, DP. It's Nkosinathi Shazi from Power FM News. Just two questions. As the leader of government business, Gauteng has an important role to play in stimulating economic growth. We are the most populous province, by the way, but we are aiming to attract more than 200 billion rand in investments. How important does the duty that Gauteng has in driving economic growth? And secondly, DP, during his opening address, the Gauteng Premier says crime and corruption continues to hinder investors from coming into Gauteng and investing. And a couple of weeks ago, DP, in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, your name was mentioned by a certain Sergeant Fanning Kosi. But just to clear the record, he had made allegations that there was an alleged meeting between you and controversial businessman Vusimuzi Kat Matlala. Just you're clearing the air on that matter. And the first question I asked on the importance of the Gauteng.
Well, let me start with your last question. I don't know Ket Matlala. In fact, when I heard about the plans to meet with me on the 23rd of December, I was not even in the country. So I don't know what Fanning Coast is talking about. But coming back to the issue of crime, you're quite right. One of the things that the province is doing is to ensure that we focus on making Gauteng safe. And the Premier spoke about it. When the Premier started with the patrollers and so on, people were criticizing him and saying, "Oh, it's not his role. What is he doing, the police?" But he was making a point that it's important that we keep this province safe and basically assist and partner with the police to fight crime. Because if you want to have investors coming in, they must say that the country is stable, the province is stable, it's safe, and it's easy to then be able to do business. So it's very important that we do that. So they can add on exactly what they are doing, but I agree that we can't talk investment, infrastructure, and leave the issue of crime. We are dealing with that at the national level. I chair the JCPS. It's a cabinet committee that deals with the issue of crime, work with the police, with the army, correctional services, and we know the president has now deployed the army in areas where we have serious problems in the Western Cape, Eastern Cape, and other areas. So definitely fighting crime for us is a priority, and we are dealing with it. What was your other question?
Or the importance of Gauteng in driving economic growth.
Oh yes, I mean Gauteng is an engine of the South African economy. It has always been, but it's not only an engine of the South African economy. It's a gateway to the continent. So you do need world-class infrastructure here, good logistics, and it is happening. Part of what this investment conference will do is to highlight those issues and indicate how far we have gone in terms of previous commitments into infrastructure, energy, logistics, digital infrastructure. So Gauteng is the place, and that's why we are saying we have to work together to grow this province, not for the sake of it, but as a province that will drive South Africa's growth and also drive Africa's growth. Last one.
Yes, absolutely. We have a sitter from SABC, yes.
Yeah.
Deputy President, I just want to get your thoughts about the fluidity of the ceasefire that's happening with the tensions between the US and Iran and the Middle East, and how you see that if it does not get resolved, impacting on businesses in South Africa as a whole, and of course,
Fuel price.
just
Yeah.
go down to Gauteng. And secondly, Premier, the second question is to you, perhaps for the benefit of my viewers. They really want to understand the role that the new MEC for Finance is going to play in tandem with the role that the MEC Ramaphosa is playing. And there seems to be a bit of confusion about whose investment conference is it and what role it's going to play. Perhaps MEC Maile can also jump into it just for the benefit of our viewers. Thank you so much.
Yeah, mine is brief because the president has already welcomed the ceasefire in the Middle East. We do hope that those challenges will be resolved. Iran has put on the table their 10-point plan. The US, I think they've got a 15-point plan. And I'm told that they will be meeting in Pakistan over the next coming days. So we do want and we hope that this conflict will be resolved because it is affecting all of us. We can see prices of petroleum all over the world going up, and that will drive the prices of food as well. So we are concerned that the sooner the war is resolved, the better.
Well, I understand the confusion about treasury and economic development because previously MEC Maile occupied both of them, hence the confusion. But treasury is about rents and cents, it's about budgeting, whereas economic development is about planning, the growing of the economy of Gauteng. So these are two separate entities. So we are here because of the economic development component, MEC Ramaphosa, purely because they have to formulate the strategy, they have to satisfy the investors, and they have to project where Gauteng should be in terms of our economic growth. Whereas finance or treasury is just about taxes, collecting the money, and ensuring that we spend the money by distributing into departments. So these are two different entities, and the one that we are here is MEC Ramaphosa. It's not MEC Tonga. I know MEC Tonga has been a hit for the last week or so, but it's MEC Ramaphosa. But we are working together as a collective. That is why I said MEC Maile must assist MEC Ramaphosa, because by the time we made the changes, the preparations were at an advanced stage. It was very, very important that the handover is smooth. And I'm excited that they've already done that. And we're moving forward with the arrangement. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.